The clone army was led by numerous decorated veterans who had served the Republic faithfully for years. But what would have happened if during the Clone Wars these military leaders decided to launch a coup and seize power for themselves? For this rethink, we're going to be saying that during the Clone Wars, likely after the rough first year, with the Senate handicapping the military and denying them additional funds and resources, a group of military leaders come together and decide that enough is enough. They can't keep fighting this war whilst bowing to the whims of the bureaucrats. For this reason, they decide they're going to take power themselves in order to restore peace and prosperity to the galaxy. Now, who exactly is going to join this conspiracy is difficult to say. Majority of the military leaders were very loyal to Palpatine, so we're going to say that something happens to shake their trust. Perhaps there's a devastating attack on Coruscant by the Separatists, or maybe Palpatine is somehow killed, leaving a far less decisive leader in his place. Essentially, we're going to say that the Republic High Command no longer has faith the Republic is capable of winning the war. So what are they going to do? Well, there's a lot of problems. Military coups are difficult, they're often met with extreme public outrage. And that's before we consider the biggest problem, and that's the Jedi. The Jedi will never let the military take power over the democracy. It's against everything that they stand for. And the Jedi have a considerably high rank in the Republic as generals, therefore if the military acts too brashly, they could risk an all-out civil war, which would make a separatist victory imminent. For this reason, we're going to say that the Chiefs of Staff approached the Kaminoans for a solution. Realistically, there's no reason the Kaminoans would not join this coup. The Kaminoans make soldiers, and with the military in charge, they're going to buy many more. It makes perfect sense for the cloning facilities to help them take power, even if that does involve betraying Sidious or his replacement and the entire Republic. At the end of the day, they're a business, they're looking after their bottom line. So we're going to say that the Kaminoans reveal Order 65 and Order 66 to the High Command in exchange for their pledge to increase their demand for clone soldiers. For this reason, we're going to say that the Kaminoans reveal Order 65 and Order 66 to the High Command in exchange for their pledge to increase their demand for clone soldiers over the coming years. Now, Order 65 allows the Security Council to have the clones arrest and if need be kill the Chancellor, meanwhile Order 66, as we know, makes the clones turn on the Jedi. It's an important note to say that Order 65 is now considered Legends material, but we're going to go along with it anyway. Essentially, with the use of these contingency orders, it allows the military chiefs and Security Council to take a temporary seat at the head of the government, allowing them to disband the Senate and take complete control over the Republic as an autocracy. Now that they're in control of the military, they don't have to worry about that turning on them. They also don't have to worry about citizens rising up, because they'll quickly be able to put down any revolts. The final step before going through with their plan will be to ensure cooperation from industrial superpowers, such as Kuat drive yards and farming colonies. They can't risk these groups rebelling, as it would cripple their ability to rule. But again, assuming they made promises to increase orders and not interfere with their businesses, then I believe that most of these groups would agree to join in the coup. So, the military leaders secretly mobilise the Coruscant security forces to move on the Senate and arrest/kill Palpatine or his replacement. Meanwhile, the Senate building will be shut down. Now, it's possible that the Jedi would be offered an ultimatum. After all, they're incredibly useful in the war. However, the terms of their service would be drastically changed. They would be forced to act as subordinates to military high command, as opposed to acting on their own initiative, essentially just making them another soldier. High command points the Jedi destroy, and the Jedi would likely refuse this as they're not soldiers, and they can't compromise their beliefs by serving these military commanders. So we're going to say that Order 66 happens, the temple is raised, however many Jedi will have still escaped. Now that the military command has taken control, they will be focused on winning the war. Most industry and funding will be directed to the war effort, more ships, more clones, etc. We would also see the Republic military taking a far less democratic route, possibly refusing to identify neutral systems as legitimate, and likely garrisoning worlds and stations without the consent of the people or governments that rule them. Essentially, the Republic would be far more heavy-handed, seeing in black and white. friend or foe? Now, realistically, the war would be far shorter. A fully mobilized republic dedicated to beating the CIS above all else would demolish the separatists. However, there is a problem. Military coups rarely work out as planned. The partnership of high command, once in power, would quickly become very competitive. They now hold all the power in the galaxy, and it's only a matter of time before they begin infighting to secure their own power bases. This happens in nearly every single real-world example we have of a military coup. So we're looking at a republic with more military might than ever. However, its military would be riddled with infighting. Eventually, it's likely one cunning and most cutthroat moth, possibly someone such as Tarkin, would emerge as a dictator of the Republic. But again, this would probably be followed up by a bunch of subsequent coups and a vast, quick changing of power. But what do you think would happen if High Command launched a successful coup? And what would the galaxy look like under this military dictatorship? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like, share and sub if you did enjoy, as it's really appreciated and it helps the channel grow. Also, don't forget to follow me on Twitter @TheLawGuy and tick the bell for regular updates. Thanks again for watching. I do hope that you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.